The 2026 joint offensive by the United States and Israel methodically dismantled Iran's industrial and military infrastructure. Fortified enrichment sites at Natanz and Fordo took heavy direct hits. Yet, sitting on the coast, completely exposed, sits Iran's only operational civilian nuclear reactor, the Bushehr Nuclear Power Plant. It has taken no damage from the bombing campaign. Leaked 2026 intelligence reveals that Rosatom, the Russian state nuclear corporation that built the plant, executed a secret evacuation. They pulled over 180 top personnel out of the country, leaving behind only a 20-person skeleton crew. Russia understands this facility's safety tolerances better than anyone. Their sudden flight suggests they believe a catastrophic strike or a fatal loss of cooling power is imminent. Shortly after the Russian withdrawal, Iran's foreign minister issued a warning. Radioactive fallout from a strike on Bushehr will destroy Gulf capitals, not Tehran. If an Iranian facility is hit, it's difficult to see how Iran's own capital remains safe while its adversaries are devastated. The architecture of this threat was laid in the 1970s. Conceived by Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi using West German engineering, the project was finished decades later with Russian technology. Engineers placed the 1,000-megawatt reactor on the southern coast, simply for access to seawater for its cooling systems. Eventually, Tehran recognized that this physical placement offered a distinct strategic advantage. Iran's capital, Tehran, sits 1,200 kilometers to the north-northeast of the reactor. Meanwhile, 5 major Gulf capitals, including Kuwait City, Manama, and Abu Dhabi, are located just a few hundred kilometers to the south and west, directly across the water. This geography isolates the Iranian interior from the reactor, while placing the economic centers of U.S. regional allies at point-blank range. If a missile breaches the containment dome or destroys the off-site electrical grid causing a station blackout, the reactor's cooling pumps will fail. A core meltdown would release isotopes like cesium-137 and iodine-131 into the atmosphere. In the Persian Gulf, weather patterns are dominated by the Shamal, a powerful, prevailing northwesterly wind system. This wind system acts as a conveyor belt, carrying a radioactive plume southeast over Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, and the UAE within 24 to 48 hours. The airborne fallout is dangerous, but the secondary threat is far more persistent. Those radioactive particles would eventually settle into the shallow, enclosed waters of the Persian Gulf. The entire Arabian Peninsula relies on this body of water to survive. 56 coastal desalination plants draw directly from the Gulf, providing over 90% of the region's drinking water. A strike on Bushehr would poison the air, but by contaminating the Gulf, it would permanently terminate the fresh water supply for tens of millions of people. Standard international radiological defense protocols for civilians rely on 3 principles: time, distance, and shielding, using thick concrete to block radiation. To supplement this, governments stockpile medical countermeasures like potassium iodide tablets to block the body from absorbing certain isotopes. But these preparations are ineffective against this specific threat. You can shelter inside a building as a radioactive cloud passes overhead, but you cannot shelter from a poisoned municipal water grid. Without safe drinking water from desalination, the Gulf states would have no choice but to execute a permanent mass evacuation of the entire Arabian Peninsula. This is asymmetric environmental deterrence. Iran forces its adversaries to choose between allowing a nuclear program to continue or destroying their own allies' habitat to stop it. This dynamic paralyzes the United States and Israel, locking their militaries out of the most critical energy target in the 2026 war. Iran did not need to build a nuclear bomb to hold the Middle East hostage. By combining Russian engineering, coastal geography, and the wind, they turned a civilian power plant into a permanent geopolitical shield.